Yo, RX back with another recap of UFC Vegas 77, home versus Bueno, Silva. We back to recap another card, and this one not nearly as good as our last recap of 290, but what can you do? This card had a tough act to follow after last week, but it still was a passable card. I've seen worse. It was the most mid card you'll ever fucking see. You had a couple highlights, but some lowlights, and everything in between. It was just an Apex fight night. And actually, for it to be a mid card, that's actually pretty good for the Apex. So, not much to complain about. It was a card after 290. It's the weird sore thumb of July, being right in the middle of it. Yeah, cause we had a Strickland card, which was good. 290 was great. London next week should be good. And 291's looking great. But this was just underwhelming. But whatever, what can you do? It was fights on a Saturday night, and it was passable. So, not very much more to say. I guess please like, comment, sub, 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, let's recap some fights. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to do this right now, but I want to stay on a schedule, and I want to give you the best recap I can, and that would be right now. So, let's talk about some fights, 13 in total, and we start off with a fight that was not amazing, as we got Ailin Perez versus Ashlee Evans Smith. Fine fight. Perez just dominated for 15 minutes, clear 30-26. Round 1, dominated. Round 2, dominated. Round 3, dominated. She looked amazing. Perez really looked good. Not against high competition, especially off a 2-year layoff. But she looked as perfect as you can. She looked as good as she should have in a fight that on paper should have been and was a layup for her. Perez ain't a bad fighter. For all the stupid shit she does and all that, she's not a bad fighter. Her striking is good. Her wrestling is getting better. And it's really starting to show. This, like, against Edgar, she really could have won if she just tried to strike more. Like, you're not going to out-wrestle Stephanie Edgar. That's why she lost. Now that she's just putting it all together, her striking and wrestling, she looked great. And if she can build on this performance, still super young, only 28, still learning, but this was a very experienced performance against a veteran, and she looked great. Ailin passed this test with flying colors. Definitely a way better second fight than her first, and a lot of promise, a lot of potential. I feel Ailin has after tonight, because like I said, she looked good. She's not going to be champion, but I could see her being a 10 to 15th ranked bantamweight. Like, you're telling me you don't think she beats fucking Misha Tate, Macy Chasson, maybe. She beats Yana Santos. Probably even Kelvin Vieira and Pena. So, Ailin could easily fit right in this 10 to 15, so I think Ailin really showed a lot in this fight. And for Evan Smith, there's little to say. Coming back after a 2-year layoff, it was against a tough opponent. It was just destined to be a bad night, and it was. It is time for Ailin to get cut. I was just like 36 years old, 6-6 now, off a 2-year layoff. It's time to get cut. There's not much more to fucking say. Yeah, there's just really little to say about this fight. Ailin looked great. And she looked great. Not very much, very little you can say about a 30-26. But what you can say is, who should she fight next? You have some options. I think she should get a decent opponent. Like, maybe not a ranking fight, because that'd be a little extreme, but someone like... She called out Vidal. I like that fight. I think that'd be a really good fight. Jocelyn Edwards is always an option. Either one of those sound pretty good. I like that Vidal rematch because that is Perez's only other loss, and it was only because of an illegal knee, and I'm guessing she was winning that fight. So I think that would make the most sense to do. Be a good fight. Vidal does not have an opponent right now, and I think it'd be a really entertaining fight. Good prospect versus prospect, and they have history, so you can build on top of their history. And Perez didn't take much damage. You could probably get this fight booked before the end of the year, maybe November, December. So yeah, I like that fight idea for Perez. I think it'd be a good fight, and I don't see why not. Why not do it? So. And for AES, there's nothing to really say. She gotta get cut, right? Is there really anything? What else could you do with her? She is 6-6 at 36 years old, and she looked awful. If she put up a fight, you could make a small case, but she literally did not do anything. She got beat up for 15 minutes. So, I think it's time for her to get cut. She had some moments, couple wins, mostly losses, but yeah, it's time for Ashlee Smith to get cut. So yeah, not much more to say about this fight. Who should they fight next? I like Ailin Perez versus Vidal rematch, and Ashlee Smith needs to go or retire. Retire either way. I think that works pretty well. So, yeah, great performance by Ailin Perez. After that, we had to bantamweight or lightweight. Why did I think bantamweight? We had to lightweight for a pretty whatever fight, as we got Alex Munoz versus Carl Deaton. Not much good to say about this fight. For 3 rounds, it was 2 bad strikers trying to strike. Munoz was just a better striker, dropped Deaton a good amount of times, and got the win. Yeah, for 2 rounds, Munoz just outstruck him, kind of. And then in round 3, he dropped him and just got on his back for most of the round. So, clear win for Munoz, yeah, just not a very high level fight, easily the worst fight on the card on paper, and it's up there in execution. It was just not a very great fight. So, yeah, there's very little to say about this fight. 2 shitty fighters. This should be main eventing Bellator, not happening in the UFC. So, yeah, just a very, very underwhelming fight for both guys. Not impressive Deaton at all. He might need to get cut now, because that was bad. That was against Joe Selecki, fine. Selecki's really good. But why did you suck so bad against Alex Munoz? It's Alex Munoz. Come on, my guy. Come on. Whatever. And then for Munoz, you beat Carl Deaton. What are you gonna do? So, overall, shit fight, and what can you do? Cut both would be nice, but overall, yeah, I don't care who they fight next. Just, let's get to the next fight. This was a waste of time. After that, we had to undercard really started, and it started with a pretty fine fight. Actually pretty decent fight. As we got Azat Maksum versus Tyson Nam. Very close fight. Azat clearly took the first. The second is where all the intrigue comes in, because Tyson Nam clearly took the third. So, and the second was extremely close. The Nam looks really good here. His leg kicks were a big factor in why he had such a good performance. He really chopped at Azat, and it worked. Nam is not an easy fight for anyone, let alone on a debut. Like on a debut, Tyson Nam's a tough fucking opponent, and Azat looked decent. I scored a fight for him. I gave him the first and second. You could either score first and second for Azat or second and third for Nam. I don't think either's wrong. I agree with these the first two scorecards. This I can see, but I don't agree, if that makes sense. Yeah, like, Nam put up a great fight, but I think Azat was a little better in the first two rounds, and I think he's edged out a win. And I mean edged out, like, fucking barely won. That's a good prospect. Just, they gave him a really tough debut, and I really don't know if this fight shows who Azat is. Because, again, it's Tyson Nam in your debut. Dude might be almost 40, but he's still a good fighter. Like, Tyson Nam is definitely still a good fighter. And it's kind of crazy that people are dogging on Azat because he had not an amazing, like, if you expect him to just run through Tyson Nam, I get it, fancy record and all that, but I did too, clearly. But I think you're kind of being a little fucking harsh if you're getting on him for having a close fight with a dog in Tyson Nam, who I feel is a very underrated fighter. Like, with Tyson Nam alone, unlike most flyweights, you actually gotta worry about his power. Dude hits like a truck. So, I feel like that's getting a little unwarranted hate. I've seen a lot of people saying fraud and all that. I don't get it. But whatever. I think people jump the gun on shit like that way too soon. But what can you do? Overall, this is a pretty fun fight. Very close one. And I think the judges got it right. If it would have went Nam's way, would have been a bad decision? No. But I think it would have been a little more questionable. So, yeah. Not very much more to say. Really good performance by both guys, and Azat keeps his O. And who should he fight next to beat Tyson Nam in your debut? That should get you a pretty decent fight in your second fight. Like, dude, ranked very highly appreciated fighter, I guess would be what I would say. So who could Azat fight? I don't think he should get a ranking fight. But maybe Clayton would be interesting. Clayton Rodriguez would be a very interesting fight. Yeah, I don't hate that. Clayton would be a fun fight. But since I've not really seen much else, everyone else is pretty much booked or is ranked, so like I said, I'm not a big fan of that. So yeah, like Clayton or Rodriguez, I think it'd be a very fun fight. And for Tyson Nam, coming off now 2 in a row, he really needs a pickable win. He'll probably take the rest of the year off. Is 40 almost, and is on 2 fight skid this year, so he should just take the rest of the year off and come back early next year. But against who? Malcolm Gordon. Yeah, I like that Malcolm Gordon fight. That'd be a fun one. Quick, easy win for Nam. Well, I don't think that fight happened. So yeah, that works. I'm a fan of that fight. Yeah, never fucking happened, so let's do it. Overall, fun fight between these two. Very close fight that could go either way. And who should I fight next? I like Azat versus Cledson Rodriguez. And I like Tyson Nam versus Malcolm Gordon. Azat and Rodriguez, really, really fun fight. And Nam versus Gordon, both on 2-fight skids. Nam can get back on track with a nice knockout. So, yeah, not much more to say. Fine debut for Azat against a very tough opponent. After that, we head to lightweight for a banger that we knew would be a banger between Evan Elder versus Genaro Valdéz. Fun fight. Just a brawl. Elder, very close first round, could have went either way. Second round, Valdéz dropped Elder bad. Almost got the finish. I agree that he won the second. And then the third was a clear Evan Elder round. It really comes down to the first, which was super close in my opinion. You could give it either way. But overall, I think the rightful winner did win. Kind of weird fight to score, but overall, really fun brawl. I would expect nothing less from these two. Valdéz, we know the dog. Elder is, after that Nazim fight, is definitely a dog. And we saw a dog fight, man. Could easily been fight of the night. And props to both guys. They put on a war for... Sorry about that. For 15 minutes. And especially between two dudes who really, really needed a win. And whoever lost has had a very high chance of getting cut, and I think Valdéz probably should be on the chopping block now. For Elder, I'll get back to Valdéz in a second, but for Elder, this is the win he needed. For 15 minutes he looked good, and got the win, came back after a brutal knockdown, and looked good. After getting fucked over in that Nazim fight, he deserved a win, and he got it. Elder is a good fighter, and he really should be on a 2-fight winning streak. So, yeah, Elder is a decent fighter. For Valdéz, 3 L's in a row, I think it's time to go. Yeah, he's had fun fights, but it's just not worked out. Like, Frivola, tough fight, and got destroyed. Levy, that was a bad performance. And then this, he looked fine, but an L was an L. And I think it's time for Valdéz to get cut. So, yeah. Who should they fight next? For Evan Elder, coming off really what should be a 2-fight winning streak, who can he fight? I think he deserves a decent, like Machete would be good. Loic would be decent. I like Machete. I think that'd be a really fun fight. Machete desperately needs a win, and Parsons could, or not Parsons, Elder could really be a fun fight there. So I'll go with that fight. And then for Genaro Valdéz, he needs to get cut, I think. So overall, really fun fight. And who should they fight next? I like Evan Elder versus Machete. It'd be a very fun fight. And I think Elder will continue his winning streak. So let's do that. And nothing really more to say besides great performance by Evan Elder, finally getting that win he deserves. After that, I'm not trying to rush through this, I really don't feel like rambling on now, and when we get to deeper fights, I'll talk a little more. But after that, we head into featherweight for pretty much just a domination, a showcase for one of these two guys, as we have Costa versus Austin Lingo. Great performance by Costa. In round 1, Costa just kicked the fuck out of Lingo. Clear domination there. And then for the last 2 rounds, Costa just beat him wherever. Feet, ground, it didn't matter. Costa was just gonna beat him. And Costa looked amazing. At 45, he didn't look drained. He's a big dude for 45, but he looked good. And he really showed a lot of potential against Moises, and he looked really good here. He really delivered on that potential he showed against Moises. Melk is a really good fighter. 26 years old. Very young. A lot of fights already. 26 fights. Dude's good. Dude's really good. Great kicks. Good grappling. Just a decent fighter all around. And and I think he really showed something in this fight. Lingo's not a great fighter, but Costa's gas tank held up really well against a tough dude like Lingo. And he looked great for 15 minutes in a clear 30-27. Even if for some reason everyone got a 10-8. It's fucking stupid. But whatever. Great performance by Mel Costa. Dude is really good. For Lingo, it's Austin Lingo. He's not good. Now or then. I really never seen anything interesting about Lingo. He's just a basic shitty fighter. And he takes another L here against a good fighter. He builds up a fighter, and what else can you ask for a dude? So he did his job. He lost and got Costa his first UFC win. Not very much else you can say, I guess. So yeah, great performance by Costa. And who should they fight next? Where the fuck? Okay, fuck you. Okay, let me bring up featherweight, because for some reason it don't want to show me featherweight. Let's see. For Melk Costa, there's some good fights out there. Mike Trezano, if he's still in the UFC, Kyle Nelson, Gabriel Santos, Jamal Emmers, Lucas Almeida, Luis Aldana. Fucking some decent fights out there for Melk. But I'm trying to think which one I like the most. Pineda's a good one. Fucking advanced, like it's hard to book a dude who's just not even ranked anywhere, let alone a dude who got a nice win, but you gotta pick a fight that makes sense. We'll go how about Luis Saldana? I like that fight. It's not tough. Saldana's been off for a solid amount of time, and I think Costa would be a good fight. Yeah, that fight I like the most out of everything I've seen, so yeah, we'll do that. And for Austin Lingo, Blake Builder, you got Duho Choi, fucking either of those guys would work. Anyone debuting like these guys, anyone like that, just feed them to someone. So yeah, nothing really more to say. Great performance by Melk Costa. And who should they fight next? I like Melk Costa versus Luis Saldana. And Lingo, feed him to someone. I don't care. So, overall, great performance by Costa, and I think him and Saldana would be a really fun fight. So let's do it. Great performance by Melk Costa. After that, I'm gonna say nothing about this fight. I like Dudakova. I think she's really talented, but this showed nothing, and I hope Istela heals up okay. Disgusting fucking injury, and I hope she, as much as I think she's a terrible fighter, I hope she can get one more UFC fight after this bullshit. So, yeah. Heal up Istela, and that fight should be a no contest. That's all I gotta say about that. And now for our featured prelim, we have Melsik Baghdasaryan versus Tucker Lutz. It was a Melsik Baghdasaryan fight. He looked pretty good, but he didn't look that. He looks good, but he didn't look amazing, I guess, in a fight where he should easily win. He clearly lost round 1, and round 2 and 3, he won round 2 clearly. In round 3, he had to sweat a little bit, but overall, I think it was a clear 2-1 for Melsik, and everyone agrees he got the win. I think Melsik's a dude with a lot of potential, just he keeps not having these great performances, and it's kind of fucking annoying. Like, this dude should be running through a Tucker Lutz, but he's having a close fight and not looking that amazing. His ground game ain't much. When you pressure him, he kinda freaks out a little bit. The dude is good, a lot of potential. Dude, he was beating Josh Kulabau until he got caught, but he keeps having these weak performances, and it's kind of annoying to an extent. Like, he clearly won this fight, but it's definitely one where you were like, oh fuck, please don't give it to Lutz, because in round 3 I think Lutz ended on top for like a minute of ground control, so it's like, shit. But overall, Melsik did get the win, but like I said, Melsik's one of those dudes like Kevin Lee, or who was it last week? Someone else last week who just can't put it together always, and it's annoying as shit. But like, these guys who show talent, and they have the talent, just they don't show it, and it's annoying. It's really annoying. It's really annoying that, like, Melsik, I think, is a really good fighter, but man, like, his UFC wins, beat a can here, did not look that great against this nobody, and looked underwhelming here, but he looked good here, which makes no sense because Kulibao was better than all 3 of these dudes combined, and he beat a dude in Contender Series who's really good. That makes no sense why he keeps having these underwhelming performances. It's kind of frustrating. So hopefully he can actually like have a clear-cut performance in the next fight, but it seems like it's a heavy ask at this point, because he's having a close fight with Tucker Lutz, who's garbage. It's like, dude, what the fuck? I don't know, Melsik's a frustrating fighter. Very and even at least he's great. I think he said, like, he wants to get better, or he needs to get better. He's not that great. He just needs to get better, and that's a true statement. And it's not because he is talented, he just needs to get more consistent at being good. So, hopefully he can do that, because we really need to see that as predictors, because it's hard to pick you in these tougher fights, like a Kulibao fight, when you're inconsistent. Like, even inconsistent, he can still beat Lutz, Souza, blah blah. But, like, dude, oh my god, could you imagine if this fight actually happened? He would have got murdered. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I like Melsik. I think he's talented, but he's just frustrating to watch sometimes. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Frustrating. And then to talk about Tucker Lutz, not really much to say. That is 3 in a row now, and I think it's time for him to get cut. Like, Pat, you can't get mad at, but Pineda, that's bad. And then Melsik's good, but like I said, 3 in a row, it's time to go. 3 in a row, it's time to go. I like that. I literally came up with that on the fly. But yeah, besides that, let's talk about who they should fight next. For Melsik, I want to see this dude fight a better fighter, but it's fucking worrying because he's probably gonna lose. We're looking consistent doing it. Shit. Shailin's always an option. Onama. Bill Algeo would be entertaining. Pat Sabatini would be interesting. Jack Shore. I like that Shailan fight, but where that makes sense. Shailan is coming off a loss. I like that Bill Algeo fight, but I don't really see it. Nate to train? Ooh, Juicy J would be interesting. Juicy J would be really fucking interesting. I like that Juicy J fight. Rosa would really fucking test Melsik, and I'm really liking that idea. I might go with that fight because it would just be really good. Like, Melsik's for as inconsistent as he is, Melsik is definitely a brawler. If he has to be, and Juicy J's gonna make you brawl, bro. So I like that idea a lot. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. So yeah. Good. Melsik's an annoying fighter, but if you didn't put it all together, I think he can be a decent fighter. He just can't keep putting it together consistently. It's annoying. But at least he got the win here, and hopefully it was him even saying he needs to get better. He can start putting it together, and hopefully he can fight and beat a dude like Julian Erosa. So, not really much more to say about this fight. Good performance by Melsik, I guess. And who should they fight next? I like Melsik Baghdasaryan versus Julian Erosa, and I think Tucker Lutz needs to get cut. So, I would love to see Melsik and Juicy J. Very entertaining fight. Let's do it. Nothing more to say about the prelims, all decisions, and not really much to write home about. Perez had a great performance. This was a fine fight. This was a really fun fight. Costa looked great. We just don't talk about this. And Melsik has potential, just needs to fucking show it. But now we move on to the main card, which was fine. Ups and downs. And we begin the main card with a weird fight, as we got Nazim Sadykhov versus Terrance McKinney. The long and short of this fight was McKinney took him down in the first and controlled him. In the second, Nazim reversed him, got on back mount, and choked him out. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Terrance McKinney. He was on fire, almost beat Drew Dober, lost, but then he got a win. But then he got destroyed against Bonfim, and he got beat here. Like, it seems like McKinney's trying to fight too smart now, and it's fucking he doesn't want to brawl. I don't know if he doesn't want to get hit anymore, if that's his coach's game plan, what, but whatever he's fucking doing, it's not working anymore. And he won round one. That's the most annoying thing. He dominated round one, but he got choked out, and it's fucking annoying to pick a dude and be a fan of a dude when he just keeps losing in weird ways. Bonfim, that happens, but this is a fight he should have won. Nazim is good, but he's not an amazing fighter. Like, this should be a fight Terrance McKinney wins 9, maybe 8 times out of 10. But he just fucking choked it here. And it's very frustrating. And Terrance McKinney's again like Melsik Baghdasaryan, where he just can't put it together always. And as someone who picks fights, predicts fights, picks McKinney, it's frustrating as shit because, dude, you should be winning these fights, but you lose them. Dober and Bonfim, that's fine. But what the fuck happened here? Whatever. And then for Nazim, the dude's good, but there's a ceiling for him, and his ceiling, I think, might have already been hit. He can win some, he'll lose some. His striking's fine, his grappling's okay. He, at lightweight no less, he's not gonna go far. Like, he's just not gonna go very far, so. Very little to really say about this fight, and who should they fight next? For Nazim Sadykhov, he should get a decent fight after beating McKinney. Even for as inconsistent as McKinney is, he's still a decent win, and who would be a good fight for Nazim? Joe Selecki. Yeah, I don't hate that. Joe Selecki would be, like, out of all of these guys, like, Riddell kind of sucks, but he ain't fighting anymore, and this dude's a fucking loser. But Selecki, like, the most, yeah, he's good, but he's beatable. So I think that'd be a good fight for Nazim, and I would like to see it. And then for Terrance, I don't know. Terrance needs a real step down. Like, he needs to fight someone like Michael Johnson, or Christoph Giagos, or Ricky Glenn, some shit like that. He needs to step down. He just can't hang with these top. Like, all of these dudes right here beat him. Like, he can beat guys like McDessie or Ricky Glenn, but, like, it just seems like he can't beat a guy who's actually talented. And Frivola was kind of weird. Like, that's aging great, but it's just really weird. So, I don't know. Really weird fight. And just annoying fight for someone who picked McKinney. It's like, really, dude? You did that shit? I want to be surprised, but with it being Terrance, it's also like, I don't know, very annoying. But overall, not much more to say about this fight. Who should I fight next? I like Nazim versus Joe Selecki, and Terrance McKinney needs to step down. So, Nazim and Selecki makes sense. Selecki's not the highest level of guy, but he's definitely a decently respected fighter and could really give Nazim problems. Fuck, I might be honest, I might pick Selecki in that one, but that's for a different discussion, so not very much more to say about this fight. Good comeback by Nazim, but just weird. McKinney's really fucking weird to watch sometimes. Fine fight to be in the main card, should have been a banger, but what can you do? After that, we head to the fight I all week hyped up, and I got a lot of shit for it. Got a lot of shit for it. But I enjoyed it. I think it was a fun fight, and I think mostly what I said kind of stood true. As we got Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler. Not really, the fight was pretty one-sided. Norma cracked Chelsea bad in the first. Chelsea survived, pulled guard, and Norma stayed on top for the rest of the first. Norma took round 1. Then round 2 and 3, Norma just pretty much picked Chelsea apart. Mainly on the ground, a little bit of striking, but it was mainly a ground fight after that. And Norma picked up the win. I want to talk about Norma Dumont, so. She's really fucking good. I know she's had bad performances. This is a really bad look in hindsight. This was not her best performance. This was a bad performance, and no one cares about this. But in her last 3 fights, she's looked great. Wolf dominated on the feet, no less. Rosa bagged the first 2 rounds, survived in the third. And then Chelsea Chandler, who's a really good prospect, she destroyed. So, Dumont, I really think, like, if I were to fix the rankings right now, she'd be in the top 4. Like, I think she, skill-wise, is a top fighter in the division. Like, fuck, she beats Pena. Pennington would be interesting. Holm would be interesting. Beats Ketlin. Irane's fun. Penny's interesting. Beats Yana. Already beat. I think she probably beats Macy in a rematch. Probably lose to Bueno. Beats these 2. Good chance she beats Josie. Like, she's really good, and and to an extent, it's kind of a shame that featherweight's gone, because her Nunes would have been kind of interesting. Norma would have lost, but she deserved it. She deserved that, because, dude, she is literally carrying that division on her back at this point. And she's literally fought everyone out. Like, the only featherweight left in the UFC she hasn't fought, not named Nunes, is Josie Nunes. Like, she's beaten everyone. Or fought everyone, I should say, my bad. Megan Aronson, Felicia Spencer, Ashlee Evans-Smith, Aspen Ladd, Danielle Wolf, Macy Chasson, Rosa Chandler. Who the fuck has she fought outside of Nunez's and outside the Nunez's? Has she not fought at featherweight? Or flyweight, my bad. Like, or no, yeah, featherweight. But she's good. Like, and I really think if she can get her weight cut to 135 to work, she could really pose problems. And one thing I would say, do UFC fix the fucking rankings. Norma should be bare minimum 7s, if not higher. She beat Rosa, for fuck's sake, and Rosa beat Yana. What the fuck are you doing? But that's the story. Yeah, I don't know. I think Dumont's a really talented fighter. Her striking's getting better. Her ground game's getting better. She's still young. She might be cocky as shit, but she keeps fucking winning. Now she's on a 3-fight winning streak, beating, not a good fighter, but Kara Rosa and Chelsea Chandler are good fighters. And to beat them within 3 months of each other, and not take much damage and probably can get back in there before the end of the year. And it's impressive. And fuck, I'll say this right now, as stupid as it sounds, if you wanted to you could do Pena and Norma for the belt. Like, as crazy as it sounds, Norma has held down 45, just won the last fight ever at 140, women's 145, unless it's the catch weight. And she deserves a reward. Yes, bare minimum, her reward should be Irene or Raquel. But you could or Holly. But she definitely deserves something along those lines. If she's fighting, not in the UFC, she's gonna fight Miesha Tate or fucking Yana Santos. When she should be fighting Irene or Raquel or Holly. It's fucking annoying, the UFC's booking of some people. Like, Norma's looking like the future of that division, because she sucks. She's not the youngest. She sucks. She's garbage. What the fuck happened to her in a big moment? No one even knows about her. She's okay. And she's really good. I'll talk about her later. But Norma, like, again, skill-wise, I think Norma's a top 4 fighter. Her and Bueno tonight both showed out. And I'm gonna keep praising Dumont, and I know a lot of people just ignore it, but Dumont's actually a really good fighter. And I said that all week while I was hyped up for this fight, because Dumont's a really good fighter. And she showed it again. Like, she's had 3 great performances. She's only lost maybe a round in her last 3 fights, and that was to Kara Rosa in the 3rd. So, it isn't, like, I get women's featherweight and bantamweight are kind of whatever now, and always were, but dude, Norma Dumont is definitely a fighter who deserves respect and recognition. And fuck, if I'm the only one doing that, giving her that, fine, I don't care. But fuck, I think that is a shame that she gets no respect. To talk about Chelsea Chandler a little bit, there's not much to say. She got thrown into the wolf's den pretty quick. Like, go from Stoliarenko to Dumont in your 7th MMA fight is kind of crazy. Like, it was a little bit too far of a jump. I think Chandler's a great fighter. She's very young, young in her MMA career. She's the same age as Dumont, but still young in her career. And she needs more development. But give her another year or 2, like 3 more fights, I think she could be a good fighter. This is kind of the one thing I hate about this fight. No matter who lost, it was kind of gonna suck, because someone's gonna go back, and for Chandler, it's her. You know, I think she's a talented fighter, just a little too much too soon. But she called for this fight, and she showed up and got beat. So I give her respect for that department. So I don't know. I can't fucking talk about this fight anymore. It was a fun fight, and it showed a lot from Dumont and a good amount from Chandler. But now we talk about what should be next for these two. For Norma Dumont, Irene Aldana. I really don't see any other fight for her. Like, no one, don't waste her time with these two. She already fought these two. Again, don't waste your time. Peony's fighting Caitlyn. The winner of that will probably fight, I don't know. Raquel's probably gonna fight Pena, or maybe she could fight Norma, but I think Irene at Fizz coming off an awful performance, I think that makes a lot of sense. I would really like to see that fight too. Striking wise, a part of me says it's an easy one for Irene, but in the same breath I want to say, is it? Because Norma's getting better as a striker, and with how dog shit Irene was in her last fight, it's a fight Norma could easily win. Especially wrestling wise, which Irene is very weak at, so I would love to see that fight, and I really hope they do it. And to talk about Chelsea, who can she fight next? You got options. Pudilova, Jocelyn Edwards, that Josie Nunez. I like that Lucy Pudilova fight. Lucy's a tough fight for anyone. Would really be a fun fight. Jamelin Horse is also there. Ailin Perez is right there. I think I'll go with Lucy Pudilova. It would be a good fight. Lucy's a good test, a good fighter, and I think that'd be a fun one. So let's do that. Not much more to say about this fight. I'll stop singing this fight's praises before it happened and after. I like these two fighters. It sucked to see one have to lose, but at least we're gonna get hopefully some Norma, something good for Norma after this. And Chandler got, I think, a lesson. So yeah, not much more to say. Who should they fight next? I like Norma Dumont versus Irene Aldana, and I like Chelsea Chandler versus Lucy Pudilova. Norma and Irene, great fight. Hell, I love that as the main event of the Apex card. And Chelsea versus Pudilova, I don't see why not. So, not much more to say. Good fight, and Norma Dumont needs some respect already. After that, we head to second time. Fucking stop doing that. We head to middleweight for a really interesting fight between Albert Duraev and Jun-Young Park. Park pretty much just beat him. Like, when Park wouldn't go down by takedowns or his striking, Park kind of, I feel, mentally beat him to an extent. And it kind of showed in that second round, because Duraev was kind of lost on what he could even do after a while. Park was not going to go down by his punches, and you couldn't take him down. So it's kind of, Duraev was kind of fucked in a way, because he had no way to win. And it kind of showed. So, like, there's very little to say about this fight. Park just ate Duraev's best shots and then knocked him down and beat him. Jun-Young Park is legit. He's really fucking good. Tough as nails. Like, really tough. Fucking. And now on a 4-fight winning streak. He's good. He's really good. And 3 RNCs in a row. Park's really fucking good, and I really hope he gets a legit fight after this. Nothing derived ain't a legit fight, but like a ranking level fight. He deserves it. Dude looking amazing. 4 in a row. Yeah, not against great competition, but what can you do? And I guess dude's just a fucking beast. And who doesn't like Jun-Young Park? Dude's just a vibe. For Duraev, I made a tweet, and I think it sums him up well. He has a ceiling, I think he already hit it. He's a good fighter, but he's never going to be top 15 or even a top 20 dude. He's good, but he's never going to hit that. Duraev beating Jun-Young Park, Kyle Borrello, Gregory Rodriguez. Probably not. I was just saying no. But he could beat a GM3 or a Brad Tavares. So I think it's Duraev. I think is an interesting case. Dude's not a bad fighter, but he just can't stack up. If he's in a weaker division, he could be decent. But middleweights, like in the lower or unranked classes, are actually really good, and Duraev just can't stack up to those guys. So yeah, not really much more to say about either guy. who should Park fight next? 4 in a row. He deserves a real fight. You got some options. No Sultan, that'd be fun. I like that Bruno Silva fight. That's a good fight. Bruno Silva would be fucking fun. He could always beat up Edmund. Yeah, I like that Bruno Silva fight a lot. I think it'll be a very entertaining fight. And I could go either way. I might actually take Park in that fight. Yeah, fuck it, let's do that. Junior Park and Bruno Silva. Screams a great fight. And then for fucking Albert Duraev, Eric Anders, Jacob Malkoun, Puna, CLD, we'll go Puna. I like that fight. Puna and Duraev would be a fun fight. Let's do it. That'd be a really fun fight. Yeah, why not? Not much more to say. Junior Park is a legit beast, and I hope he gets a real fight after this. So, who should they fight next? I like Junior Park versus Bruno Silva, and I like Albert Duraev versus Punahele Soriano. Park and Bruno would be a good fight. Could easily be a rankings fight if they're like both guys could be ranked. So let's get it. Would be a fun fight. And then for Duraev, him and Puna would be interesting. I really don't know which way I would lean in that fight. Very close fight. So yeah, not really much more to say. Great performance by the Iron Turtle. After that, we had to lightweight for a fight that we knew was not going to go 15 minutes, and it didn't. Between Francisco Prado and Atman Azaitar. Really low to say. They had some striking, they had some grappling exchanges. Excuse me, my bad. But after a while, Prado clipped Azaitar bad with a spinning back fist. And set him down, ground and pound, that's over. Yeah, not too shocking. Yeah, not a very shocking fight. Azaitar, after that Frivola fight's not the most shocking thing in the world. He's just not it anymore. That layoff really fucking hurt him. That getting cut for that weird shit hurt him, and you can just tell he's not the same fighter. Like, and it's kind of lame because he was a good prospect at one point, but now 2 in a row finished. He's really on the fence now. He really needs to win his next fight. So it's weird how quick you can fall in MMA. So, and then for Prado, really to say, I said everything I thought about the kid in the fucking breakdown. He gave Jamie Malarkey a fight. He showed talent. He seems to be a good fighter, and he fucking finally got a UFC win here. He deserves it. He deserves to be in the UFC, and yeah, good win, man. Not really much more to say. I think the kid has potential. 21 years old. Fuck, dude has plenty of time to become a good fighter, a better fighter. So yeah, let's give him some time, and let's give him another day. I like Francisco Prado versus Trevor Peek. I think that'd be a really fun fight. Fuck it, yeah, I like that fight a lot, actually. That'd be a very interesting fight for both guys. Very winnable fight for both guys, and I think that would make a lot of sense. I'm not really seeing a better fight for either dude. So yeah, let's do that. I like that fight a lot, so we'll do Francisco Prado and Trevor Peek. I think it'd be a really fun fight. And then for Atman Azaitar, I really don't know. What do you do with him? Like, it's a hard question to answer. 2 L's in a row now, first round finishes against guys against at least Frivola he should have beat. And now what? He's not even looking good. He looked better in this fight, but he still ain't the same guy. And now it's starting to be like, what do you do with him? Like, I think you gotta give him a layup fight, pretty much, but fuck, man. I really don't know what you do with him here. So, hopefully they give him an easier fight that he should win, but we'll see, man. So, not very much more to say about this fight. Fun fight for as long as it lasted. Predictable finish. Who should they fight next? I like Francisco Prado versus Trevor Peek. And Otman Azaitar versus, hopefully, an easier fight. So, yeah, Prado and Peek would be really good. So, let's do it. So, yeah, right now, much more to say. Good fight. And let's head into our controversial co-main event of the evening between Jack Della Maddalena versus Basil Hafez. I think Basil won this fight. I agree with the scorecard. Yeah, Jack Della Maddalena is the loser of the night. He looked terrible. He looked fucking terrible against Basil Hafez on 4 days' notice. Jack Della looked awful. Bad fight IQ, bad wrestling. Like, I still think Jack beats some ranked dudes like Bilal and Brady, but now he probably loses to Gary and even a dude like Renat Faragnikov. So, it's a desert. Like, I think I got this pick wrong. I think Basil got robbed. He should have won this fight, man. It's kind of like, it feels like Diego Lopez and Mansour Evloev. You want to see, the other guy deserves to win. So, I'm not going to say much about this fight. Terrible showing by Jack Della, and Basil should have won this fight. But Basil ain't even a good fighter. He's just a dog. So, I feel bad for Basil, but whatever. He made a name for himself, and hopefully he gets a fight. He doesn't get fucked over in the next fight. So, yeah, not much to say. Terrible performance by Jack Della Maddalena. And now we end the night with the main event of the evening. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Holly Holm. Not going to talk much about round one. Really nothing happened. Silva got a couple nice shots in. Holly was trying to hug. And then in round two, Holly got in the clinch. And Silva locked in a ninja choke and choked her out. Wow. Bueno Silva might not be the most talented fighter, but she can catch you like that. Wow. Wow. She just shot her ticket into legitimacy in the UFC and in that division period. Bueno's good. And it's crazy to think that at the beginning of this win streak, she was having a close fight with Shannon Wu, and a little over a year later, she's beating Holly Holm in a main event on short notice. So, weird how that works, really. Bueno is such a weird story, because if you look at her at flyweight, sub Julian Robertson, which is impressive as fuck, loses to Morozov, not a good loss, beats whoever the fuck this is, draw here, lose here, then she goes up and just beats 3 okay fighters, didn't look great in a couple of them, but then just out of nowhere, just runs through Holly Holm. Crazy shit, man. Really crazy how a weight class change can help you so much. And it's helped Bueno, like, you don't even know. Like, I remember, like, breaking down Bueno fights at flyweight and all that, or even in her last couple fights, I've just thought, like, yeah, she's okay. She can sub you, her striking's whatever. Like, I remember that Manon fight because she looked so bad in it. She wanted to taunt more than actually fight because she had nothing for Manon. And now, 4 fights later, she just beat Holly Holm in a main event by ninja choke. The fuck? Mad respect to Bueno Silva. She is a great story. And now she could easily be fighting for a belt. She could easily be fighting for a belt. Like, it's kind of crazy, kind of insane how quick your career can turn around. For good or for bad. For Bueno, it's for the good. So, I'm happy for Bueno. She seems like a really cool person. I've seen, it was Mac Malley, and I think someone else, like, talked about how it's cool to see a great person like Bueno succeed, and that's cool. And her post-fight interview was very Patty Pimblett-like, to where it's hard not to cheer for them, because she talked about how she had depression or some along those lines, and how she got out of that funk. And it's really great to see, and I'm happy for Bueno. She seems like a cool person. So, yeah. And then for the preacher's daughter, she didn't retire, sadly. I don't know what she really does now. Is she really just gonna go pray she can fight? Like, she's now gonna drop bare minimum to 4th. You already beat Ketlin, already beat Irene. You are gonna fight Pani if she beats Ketlin? Already beat Yana. I doubt you're gonna fight Rosa. The fight that makes sense would be a rematch of Miesha Tate. I think that would make the most sense. That'd be a great double retirement fight. They're both old as dirt now. Miesha's 39, 36. Holly's 41. They both look it in the cage. I think it'd be an amazing retirement fight for both. Pay-per-view, let's see, what would be the first pay-per-view next year? 297? UFC 300. Even. That'd be good prelim, double retirement for 2. As much as I think they suck now, they are legends. And I think something like that would be really nice. I know neither of them probably want to retire, but bare minimum for Miesha Tate, she needs to. Holly, just go to boxing or some shit. Like, she has nothing left to do in MMA, and do you really think she's gonna win a belt? Even let's say she beats a Cara Rosa or a Macy Chasson, Penny Chienza, then what? You're gonna fight Pena? Norma Dumont? I really don't know what her plan is anymore, because this was her last chance. And it's very Josh Emmett, Ilya Taporia-like, to where this was their last chance, and with that out the window, now what? So, I'm interested and worried what the UFC are gonna do. I would love to see her have a double retirement fight with Miesha Tate. Fuck, it might be a quick turnaround, but if you could do it for $295 on the Jones card, I think that'd be great. Met her, Tate, Jones, and Stipe all retiring on the same night. That'd be fucking insane. Like, wow, that'd be in MSG, no, that'd be cool. It's not gonna happen. I don't think either Tate or Holm can make that date by now, but I think they deserve pay-per-view or something along those lines. I hope they do that. And now I don't have anything against Holm. I just didn't want to see her get another title shot at 50. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, not much more to say. Great ninja choke by Bueno Silva, and who should they fight next? I like Bueno Silva. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about that. I think what the UFC should do is Pena versus Pennington with Bueno Silva as the backup, and then we go from there. So that's what I think they should do. So I think Bueno should do that, and I like Miesha Tate versus Holly Holm rematch, double retirement would be great, and I hope they do it. So I would love to see both those things happen, and great performance by Bueno. There you go. Not much more else to say about this card. I forgot to say a boom. That's very much key for me to put a timestamp for the outro. Yeah. Picks wise, I did amazing. 11 of 13. Only got 2 wrong. Deaton and McKinney. Not mad at it. And yeah, great. 11 of 13. 4 perfect. 690. Great night picking for me. If I were telling the bonuses, 5 of the night went to Jack Della and Basil. Performance to Bueno and Prado. I can't disagree with anything, but I do think Junior Park should have got a bonus. He got fucked over. And yeah, not very much more to say about this card. If you missed it, what would I tell you to? What would I say you should rewatch? Maybe Perez if you want to see how good she looked. That sounded wrong. That and Nam was fun. Elder was fun. Costa looked good. Don't ever watch this. Skip Melsik. Skip. Dumont Chandler was fun. Park looked great. So most of the main card, I would say, outside of Nazim. Costa if you want. Elder, Azat, I think you should. And Perez. Skip Munoz. Skip Dudakova. Skip Melsik. Skip Nazim. Overall, very okay night of fights. It was hard to have a card after 290, but they did, and it was mid. So I expected it to be a lot worse than it was, but it was fun. So yeah, not much more to say, guys. You'll hear from me next week, Friday 1 p.m. EST, for a breakdown of UFC London, Aspinall versus Tybura, and you'll hear a recap this same time next Sunday, 1 p.m. EST, for that same card. Without forgetting to say something, please like, comment, sub, 100 subs go by the end of the year. Tell me what you saw of the card, how you did on picks, whatever the fuck you want to comment. And as always, RX. Out. Iron Turtle dance.